Welcome to another episode of Token. Steven, give a fun log line.
The place where everybody's got hot sauce in their bag.
Swag.
I like that. I love Beyonce, so I am with that, and it's true. We do like hot sauce. All right, so we do. So we're going to just start off this week first by addressing something that has been asked of us, and Steven brought it to my attention right before we start recording. What actually defines token, or like how do we as a podcast define token? I'll go ahead and start. I would say for me, token, there can be more than one Black person as lead, I think. But they're either secondary, and then it's like majority, to me, token is majority white cast, Black sprinkles. So like it could be a Black sprinkle in the background, all this. A lot of times token stands to me to form. It'll be like one Black person lead or secondary, and that's it. That to me is like a token. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, excuse me, the token is the one minority, in this case, Black character in the entire cast, one, possibly two, but usually there for like pseudo diversity reasons, just to meet the quota. But in our case here, it's going beyond just that, because we're looking at those token characters and whether or not they fit the token role, and if they're more than just a token.
That's a really good point you brought up. Like it could be like token majority white, if the majority white cast, so it's like saying 80% white, 30% Black. Like I would say that's still token, right? Like when we're the like underground like race, like not underground race, like underground railroad. I'm so sorry. But like when we're like, I think what you make a good point is that like it's the token is when like the focus isn't on these Black characters in a way, or like are they supporting the story in a way that's outside of maybe the white counterparts. Like if they're actually like, that's what we do. We evaluate like in these movies where there's less Black people than white people, are the Black characters representative actually there to bring a Black voice? Or are they there, just to fake diversity, lazy diversity, you know?
That's a good way to put it. Lazy diversity. Are they there for lazy diversity, or are they there for because they're actually contributing to the story?
Right. Yeah. I think you definitely brought like a new, give Steven his flowers. You brought like a new way of thinking about it. I feel like I'm like, praise Steven, I loved it. Yeah, so we're gonna jump into this week, and our film for this week is da 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 da. Say it, Steven, because it's such a long title, and you guys, I know you know it perfectly.
Yeah, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. So Steven, what is Captain America: Winter Soldier about?
So, being the resident blurred comic book geek in this, I'll break it down. Really try to break it down as simple as possible. It's the second film in the Captain America solo movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this one specifically is continuing the journey that Captain America started in the first movie, where he was basically all took place, I think, in the 40s, like World War I era, and he gets frozen. If anybody knows the Captain America comic book mythos, he gets frozen in time and then thawed out modern day. And so with this is basically post thaw, and now he's trying to fit in and understand the modern world while struggling to understand the current role of government in war. Really.
So you're a blurred. Is that what it's called? How do you say it?
Blurred. Black nerd. Yeah, blurred.
So when it comes to the Marvel universe, like what if 1 to 10, 1 knowing nothing, 10 is I know it all, what's your number on the scale?
10. Like,
Even you're a 10?
I grew up reading all these comic books like regularly. And so then I've been waiting for these movies to be made for basically my entire life. So when they were made, of course, I was like there opening night on every single one of them, giving them all my money. And a few of them, I think a few of them I saw twice, and there's a lot of them where most of them, I was always on the internet in these forums, seeing what everybody had to say about the theories for the upcoming movies and, their background for the characters and all that. Yeah, I'm that guy for comic books. I'm that dude. Yeah.
Okay, that dude. Okay. Hashtag that dude. I'm at a 3.5, 3. I'm giving myself too much. I have not seen, I saw this one. I've seen Black Panther, and I saw the 2 movies where people were disappearing. Where did the movies? Thanos. I saw the 2 movies with Thanos in it.
The last 2, yeah.
I saw those. I don't think I saw all of the second part of that, but I have seen it. I actually think I may have watched half of it in a plane, half of it somewhere else. I don't really know. So I'm coming to this with, I have thoughts that okay, so it's funny because I always have heard, obviously, people talk about this stuff around me, but I didn't really know. And after watching this, I have some thoughts that I think are controversial. Also, there was something in this so all I'm going to say is there's this guy that I had a situationship with for a year who always told me his favorite character is Captain America. And he wants to be just like him. And all I got to say now is that should have been a red flag to me if I had known who Captain America really was and what his life was about. I didn't know. I thought whatever. I didn't know. But after watching this movie, I was like, yo, that was a red flag. So I have some thoughts that I think might be a little against the whatever. So we're gonna jump into it. So the film opens up with you see Anthony Mackie's character, our first introduction of someone Black. Anthony Mackie is running, jogging, whatever, and Captain America is just lapping his ass.
Don't say it. Don't you say it. Left. Come on.
So my first note was, look at this great white hope opening.
Okay.
That was it gave me from the very beginning. I was like, oh, this is the great white hope. It's like the white guy on the basketball team who is doing really well. And so all the community, it's like any Boston Celtics, player that people love. He's the great white hope.
Boston.
They got him literally lapping this Black man to open the movie. And one more real quick. I'm so excited to talk about this because I have so many thoughts, but I was just like, no wonder y'all were so excited for Black Panther. I felt that in the very beginning, and then by the end of this movie, I was like, yeah, y'all were starving for something. So those are my initial thoughts. And so
I think that's very fascinating here, especially because coming for me, I come into this with so much history already ingrained in my brain for it. So when I saw that, I was viewing it as them trying to make it clear just how powerful Captain America was, right? How strong he is and how fast he is. Like they said, something like 13 miles in 30 minutes, whatever. So to me, I saw them from a storytelling perspective as trying to reinforce how strong his character is. Knowing who Anthony Mackie's character, who Falcon is, I was like, okay, I know where his place is going to end up being, but I didn't think about it that way. That's a really fascinating way to look at it, actually. And it's coming straight off the bat. If I was just somebody watching it for the first time, I'd probably be thinking the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. He's fast, but I was just lapping this Black man like this. They love that.
Yeah. Well, so because you mentioned Black Panther, that is one of the reasons we were I've been waiting for Black Panther to come out since I was a kid, like a movie. Black Panther is one of my favorite characters. And I've always basically said he's a Black Batman. He's a rich prince. He's got all this great technology and gadgets, but it's more. It's more than just a Black Batman. But we have not had somebody to represent us that can do that shit. And the great part the best part that you mentioned is like in the comic book mythology of it all, Black Panther is like equal to or greater than Captain America in most of the stories. Like he can whip Captain America's ass. He can run faster than Captain America. He can do all sorts of stuff that you just don't see until you see the movie. Where I think the one, I don't know if you saw the next one, Civil War, but some of the movies.
I ain't seen. I told you what I saw. I ain't seen Civil War. Is that a movie?
That's the next Captain America, actually.
No, I don't know
But
what that
you see
is.
Black Panther, and he's running faster than motorcycles. So you're like, oh shit! Like we finally got somebody that can do all the same shit and more.
Yeah, no,
Just to
I
show that in
don't
here.
even know, and I don't. Wait, no, Civil War is one of the two of the movies where they disappear.
That's actually right before. So Avengers, Endgame are the movies that disappear. It's Avengers Endgame and the Civil War is right before those two.
Okay.
So that's what sets it up.
So I'm curious how you want to break this down, this movie. Do you want to break it down in order of how the movie plays out, or do you want to break it down by like character? How are you feeling?
Let's do let's just do it by character though.
Black character. So do we want to go from biggest black characters or small? Because I saw 4 black people, distinct 4 black people. One of them, we chalk it up to lazy diversity. There was a black man standing behind the French dude, I guess, at the very beginning. I said, oh, there's a brother. And I don't know anything. So I was like, let me see what this brother about to do. You know what that brother did? He answered a phone call and I never saw him again. Okay. So that brother, gone. 3 brothers left. Okay. This one, I think he was a light-skinned brother.
What do you want?
Stillman or whatever from Hydra. Is he a light-skinned brother?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I can't tell because he is
How do you look? Okay.
I know because he definitely the actor's name is Maximiliano Hernandez.
No, he ain't black then. He Hernandez.
But
I mean, he could be Dominican.
Could be Dominican.
Got some Afro roots.
He's from Brooklyn. He probably is definitely part of the diaspora.
Okay.
But the way they have him shaved and everything else, you're not gonna be able to tell. He would be the token
ambiguous
mixed race, right? Or the token unassuming race, like that they throw in for that.
I just wrote him down as light-skinned brother. That's what I said. Oh, light-skinned brother. That's what I wrote him down. So we could talk about him first. Okay, so my first thing about him was you see him in the beginning, right? And then he's like a villain, right? Like Stillman, he's like a villain. He's with the Hydra, and then like the next big scene for him is when they're in the car ride. Later in the film, we're in the car ride after they've like kicked his ass, and he like snitches to them about everything. So he's the light-skinned brother is a rat. That's all I thought.
This is why I couldn't wait to get into this one with you because
that's it. I was like, oh, light-skinned brother, he's a rat. So they made him. He was a rat. He's a rat. He's the definition of rat. Like they beat him up a little bit, and he just sang, and then they killed his ass.
Yeah, they outed his ass like raw in this. I will say in the previous movie, they had him set up so he is so you just think he's another one of the good guys. But you see after watching the movie that it's all because they are trying to set him up to be or set up all of these plants, these Hydra plants inside the organization. So obviously, most of the people that you thought were good guys prior aren't good guys now.
Okay. I don't have much for the light-skinned man. Do you have anything for him?
No, I mean, like I said, when the previous movie, they had him pop up and you think, okay, he's another one of the good guys, cool. And then at the front even at the start of this movie, they set him up to think for you to think, okay, he's like, no, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't negotiate with terrorists. So you're thinking, all right, he's cool. He's S.H.I.E.L.D. They need to save him, yada, yada. But then as the story deepens, and that's one of the things I like about this movie is that it's an espionage thriller first and like a superhero movie second. So to me, it's much more like Born Identity or those Tom Clancy movies or something. It's just got people in suits and fucking superpowers instead, but just the way the story unfolds, right? The plot.
Mhm.
So of course, like with this one, there's most of the people you think you can trust, you aren't going to trust, and they definitely he's the rat for sure.
Oh
He
my God. He of the bad guys, he was probably the dumbest. Like he that my overall feeling of all the token characters in this is that they were like the least of what they were doing. Like to me, like his role, like he just like you see him in the beginning and then and the way it played it, he's like just this rat and he just gets beat up and he's like, oh my God, like they're gonna kill me.
Zola's algorithm is a program.
Like he's just such a like squirmy, like, do you want to be like, is he the bad guy you want to be? That's what I'm saying. With bad guys, you can normally say, oh, I would want to be him though if I was a bad guy. There's no part of me that saw something in him that I would want to be.
No, and again, that's the funniest part is his character up until that point is basically somebody that's overly confident and overly cocky. Like you see how he was at the rooftop before they threw him off. He's like, whatever. I'm not gonna tell you anything. You think you know Hydra's, everywhere, yada yada. But then as soon as they scare the shit out of him, like he folds, right? Like a house of cards. So,
No
and I
backbone.
think, huh?
Yeah, no backbone. He was
No,
suck.
none. But he's the prior movie. He was they had him like that too, that cocky, overconfident character where he's like, "Yeah, I'm here. We're saving the world. We're doing this. We're shielding shit." It was very interesting that the way he flipped into becoming the rat so quickly, right?
Okay, so that black guy, another knock against the light skinned man, gone. Right, you guys didn't need another hit, but you got one. Bang bang. All right, now let's go to the main event. It's gonna be so we're gonna go into Samuel. I would say Samuel's next, right? So after you see Anthony Mackie get lapped, we meet Samuel Jackson, and to me, the first kind of moment I saw with Samuel was the granddad story, where he's talking about how his granddad used to carry a pistol in his bag. And I was like, oh, this is specifically a story uniquely to him and his granddad and being black men.
Yeah. Having to carry that pistol, working in the elevator for 30 years, nice building, neighborhood got rougher, and he would get some punk want to know what was in the bag, and he'd show him some ones and a 32 Magnum.
Yeah.
And
that was, I was like, oh, so they made it a point to like
yeah.
recognize his blackness like in that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
And I thought it was actually really clever because they used that to tell why he's taking the position he's taking with the plot, which means basically having guns across the entire world, right?
Right.
Like, it was interesting. That I noticed that immediately. I was like, damn, I didn't even remember that until I rewatched it with the focus on him.
Right. It was a good, it was a nice, it's like a moment you have. And so like I can only think of Black Panther, which I think would be the opposite of this film, right? Or their films, right? Black Panther is the opposite to all of them because mainly they put the weight on all their films with mainly the white like cast. So like, and Black Panther, like they have those stories like trickled without, which are kind of just educating you on the deeper scope of like what it means to be these people and what made them. Like you'll see these little stories like all the time, but in this film you see it too, but it's always white stories. Like, when I was growing up, my mom, she always used to make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And one day that peanut butter and jelly sandwich wasn't there and she was dead. Like, it's just normally like white stories, like doing that. But here, it was very nice to have that moment. So, okay, so we get Samuel and then we get Captain America. So I wrote this down. I wrote Captain America. Who do you think he voted for?
Oh, well, oh man. Okay. So
I have a couple of thoughts.
Before we go there, I do want to also drop, remember when Sam is at the light with his car and the SUV and those cops look over at him?
Want to see my lease?
haven't even gotten there yet. Wait,
Oh, okay.
wait. Okay.
Because I thought you were doing character.
Let's put a pin in Captain America, who we voted for,
Yeah.
and let's stick with Samuel. I got excited. I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
Like when you pick this, you're like, there's a lot to go there. And for someone who hadn't seen any of it, I was like, yo, there's a lot. Okay, yeah. So Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, what was because the writers on this, I'm assuming were white. I haven't even looked at it.
No, it's Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, two
white men.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is with the choice? I literally wrote, wow. What was the writers like the choice of like being like, and I wrote triggered much? Question mark. Like what statement do you think they thought they were like? What was the thought behind like action wise? Yeah, it was super cool, but it was like you used like a very on topic like thing that is scarring, right? And had them shoot him up.
Yeah, well, so for me, his line I thought was very appropriate actually, because you know how it is when you're sitting at the damn light and these cops looking over. You're like, okay, you want to fucking see like that outproof sign on the car? It's an Escalade. Okay, yeah, I fucking get it. So I thought that was actually very appropriate. But that whole scene is like him. Yeah, they try to take his ass out. And again, this is where seeing the previous movies, you'll be able to tell Samuel Jackson's character, they make sure that they show you repeatedly how much of a badass he is, right? And that he doesn't care. And most of the funniest part is the original character in comic books is white. When they reboot the character, like in the, I guess, late 90s, they decided to make him a bald black guy because the creators of the comic books actually thought that they wanted him to be more like the actor Samuel Jackson way before they even made these movies. So they made his comic book character based off the actual actor they ended up getting to play the movie because they wanted him to be more like Sam Jackson in the comic books. And so setting up the movies, they want to make sure that you see Nick Fury is this badass that does not trust anybody, doesn't tell anybody any secrets, takes everything with a grain of salt. And so that whole scene, yeah, I mean, hella triggering if you've been shot at in your car. But I think the primary portion of that scene is for them to show you how tough it's gonna be to take him down, because he's like one of the biggest badasses in this universe. But seeing all the fucking cops, man, set up and like really try to take, that's the shit that was like really triggering. I was like, man, this is fucking, like, you don't think about it, but that's what made me think, holy shit, like, could you imagine being him in that situation? Like, I'm dead. That's it. I'm dead. All these fucking cops, they got me. I'm dead.
I just imagine the writers being like, this is so good. This is going to be so clever. Like we have, and the commentary I got, I was like, they must have thought the commentary was cops can do anything. Like literally they're shooting and following him and attacking him in the street. And these guys dressed up specifically as cops because they knew they could get away with anything.
Yeah. Well, and if you read deeper into it, they're supposed to be part of Hydra, right? Part of this background organization. They're masquerading as cops, but they still know that they can get away with anything because they're in every part of government, critical government organization and infrastructure.
So they're actual cops?
No, I think they're Hydra agents.
Dressed up as cops.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, did you like it? Were you like, oh, okay, I like it. Or were you like, how do you feel about that whole scene? Like the choice and all of that?
Oh, for me, I love it because one, I'm like, I need a fucking car like that. That shit lasts through everything. But two, I like seeing this badass black man that's hard to kill. Like he's got no special powers, but he's like the top. He like leads the best secret agents, right? He's in charge of SHIELD, which is a super secret spy agency or whatever. So I liked it because he obviously knew he couldn't take all of them on like on his own, but he knew what he needed to do to get the fuck away, right? And his character is always like one step ahead of everybody and only gives certain people certain information, which they clearly show in this. So for me, it was like, yeah, they still can't get this motherfucker. They try to take him out, they can't get him. They try to fucking bang in the door. He's like, wait, and then he busts open with that gun.
Now!
it was almost like a scene from Rambo. You know how hyped white guys used to get during the fucking 80s with Rambo and shit, and fucking and those Arnold movies with all those guns and shit. It was kind of like that to me when he waited till he could break the window and then just letting into all of them. I was like, yeah, fucking hell yeah, get them and go. You know.
Yeah, I think the whole scene played out really cool. I do think it was a little I was a little bit like, oh, who was like, yeah, let's have him get attacked by cops. We put the black man getting attacked by cops. And I was just like, it made me a little like, but
Yeah, I definitely get that.
yeah, I was just like, oh, yikes, like really on the nose here. Like but yeah, that's the only thing. It was just like glaringly like on the nose, like to have like the black man getting attacked by a group of cops. But you know, then they were also like, hey, cops can get away with anything. That's why we're dressed like them. And like we're just gonna fuck up shit. So I was like, oh. So it was interesting. I thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and so then Samuel is dead, which I didn't know. So Samuel's dead, and the next time, oh no, he's not. I fast forward. Samuel escapes that he's alive. Then we see him show up at Captain America's home, right? Shows up Captain America's home, and then what happens? Then they like, where do they go? Now I'm lost.
He shows up at Captain America's home, plays the music, and tries to tell him in secret, like, hey, like my wife kicked me out. I can't, I gotta stay here, whatever. But he's really trying to tell him something's going on. And obviously he's hurt. He's just not down for the count. And Captain America's like, oh, I can't trust you because you never allowed me to trust you. He's like, you know, I could always count on my friends. And Captain America's like, well, are you a friend? You know, because for his character, for Captain America's character in this whole movie, his whole theme is it's basically like a lot of the themes in the movie are basically like freedom, the nature of freedom, trust, transparency, doing what's right versus like following orders versus leading yourself and all that. So, and because Nick Fury has kept so much from him, he's like, I don't think I can trust you, whatever. So Nick Fury's there trying to get like help from him, and then you know that popped through the window.
And then this is when he gets shot, right? He gets shot in the back a couple times. Okay, he gets shot in the back. So then it takes us to the like hospital. He dies at the hospital. And Samuel disappears for a little bit. Yeah. So I mean, I thought like my takeaway from Samuel I thought Samuel was dead because I don't know nothing. There's like a part of me of like just movie mind being like he should come, he's gonna probably come back because it's Samuel Jackson. Like he's not just gonna die. Like he's too important and it's Samuel Jackson. So he's gone. I mean, at this point I thought, oh, like he's cool. Like it's Samuel Jackson always just brings something to his characters because it's like Samuel and he has this like, you know, badassness about him. But like he was cool. Like I was like, okay, cool. He was cool. Like it didn't, you know, I realized he wasn't the lead character, especially when he got quote unquote killed. So I was like, oh, I was like, so this is like basically this is Scarlett's movie and this is Captain America's movie and then Bucky's and then Anthony's. Like Anthony's like really fourth in the line of like who gets like the shine. So
it's funny because I was actually reading articles Anthony Mackie in Variety like earlier today about the new series and how he's always joking on set that he's number 6 on the call sheet. But with the new series, he'll finally be number 1 on the call sheet, but he still jokes about being number 6 on the call sheet.
Are they gonna give him some new powers for this series?
Huh?
They gonna give him some new powers or something?
I doubt it. Like I think they'll probably just make it because his character doesn't, from what I remember, his character doesn't in the comic books. He like can talk to Falcons and shit, but you got to make it a little more realistic and less cheesy in the movie.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You got a man walking around here with a silver arm. You got them jumping off these buildings. You're telling me they need to make Falcon realistic?
I'm not saying don't give him powers. I just think they ain't going to.
They got a witch. They got a robot who they got a spider and they need to make him realistic.
Okay, that's fair. That's very fair. Very fair. You got a witch, a robot with a diamond in his forehead, on that.
People eating plants and going to the spiritual zone.
Yeah.
We need to make Falcon real. Okay, let's get into Anthony. So you meet Anthony. He got lapped. Then you find out he's a war vet. And then this is around the time that they pick up on their second token. Samuel's dead. Let's get back to the other token, Anthony. So they pick up on Anthony. They go to his house and they're like, we need a place to hide. Everybody's bad, right? And then at the point, around that point, like,
I got you. But don't leave out when they did introduce Anthony and they had that discussion about Captain America trying to get back to like the modern times and learn his way about the world. And Anthony's character Sam suggests that he listen to Marvin Gaye's Trouble Man soundtrack because everything he missed jammed into one album, right?
I don't know that album, so you gotta inform me.
It's from the movie, but I just thought it was really good for them to focus to slide that in there with him saying like, hey, listen to some Marvin Gaye, like, add it to your list or whatever. And then they bring it back around at the end too, when he's in the hospital playing it on the iPod.
I'm
So
sorry.
I thought that was a good way to kind of put some blackness in there for Anthony Mackie, because you're not going to hear Scarlett Johansson's character talk about, oh, you should listen to Marvin Gaye, right?
That's true. It was a very it was a distinct. I'm just so mad at them. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm so mad at them and this character.
I didn't want to leave that out, but
yeah, that's really great of them.
I thought it was really, really good that they put that in there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but listen, we have to talk about his powers, okay? We have to talk about his powers, all that. Were y'all mad? I don't know what it was like but when y'all saw this, what was the reaction? I'm wondering what the world reaction is, because when I saw this, I was like, this is bad. Like his whole get up, like he shoot guns, but he's not the best at guns. He fight, but he's not the best fighter. There's a whole fight scene that they didn't even want to see. The fight scene about to start, and they cut away from the whole damn fight.
You ready for yours? Man, shut the hell up.
Lieutenant, how much longer?
His fight scene, right? His hands, we're going to see what these hands can do. And we don't see what the hands do. They literally cut away from the entire fight scene. So I was like, and he can't fight. He can fight, but he can't fight.
No, he can fight, but he can't fight as good as Captain America. Right?
No, he can't fight as good as that guy he fought in that room.
Frank Grillo's character.
Yeah, Frank Grillo's character, we cut back to it. He rolling around the ground. And the only reason why he got out of that fight was because that whole plane crashed into it.
Yeah,
so he can't fight.
They did make sure he was and part of it, I think, because that Frank Grillo's character comes back the next movie as this big villain from the comic books, where he's like got a skull mask on and all the shit. I think Crossbone. So I was like, okay, let's see in the elevator fight. I was like, let's see if how much they show him being a badass. But obviously, he can't take Captain America because Captain America is such a badass. But with Anthony Mackie, that's a good point with Sam. I wanted to see him really like fucking tussle and see if he could keep up with Crossbones or whatever, with Frank Grillo's character. But they cut it short. The plane crashed into the damn building. You're like, okay, so now you just got to run. So he gets an easy out because he's like, oh, I'm out of here. And when the building starts to fall on him.
But listen, they didn't cut it short. They just cut it out.
Yeah.
And then, you know who was a better fighter than him and wasn't even a main character at the very beginning of the movie? The guy that Captain America is fighting on that ship, the white French guy.
Yeah.
Who literally was such a cool fighter. This guy lived at a halfway house. This white man lived at a halfway house, and he held his own against Captain America and Spider-Woman. What's her name? Widow.
Black Widow. Close. Still a spider, Black Widow.
Yeah. But like he was a better fighter and more interesting to watch in how they gave him skill set than Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, he was. They gave him I was like, he's actually got Captain America like on the ground and shit. I was like, how is this dude just able to throw out these punches and kicks? And he's actually got Captain America like straight up like like actually having to breathe heavy and shit.
They
No,
gave this random white man
this random ass terrorist or whatever.
all. He wasn't even a terrorist. They just hired him. He was just like a paid for job.
Yeah, yeah.
They gave him all this shine. And here Anthony's fight is, you know what they did? They said, cut. Let's see what Bucky's doing. Let's see what Bucky and Captain's doing. Oh man, they're hurt. They're hurt. Let's go back to Anthony. Anthony rolling on the ground. Come get me. Okay, so I was like, okay. So then they bring Anthony in. So let's go back. They go to Anthony's house, and this is when they're about to go pick up light skinned dude. Anthony's one little part was he was on his phone and he was like, hey man, we see you. I'm on the phone. So like you see Anthony on the phone, they go to the roof, and then Anthony shows up for the first time, I think, with his bird wings. And he picks up light-skinned man when he get thrown off the roof.
Yeah. And you see him because you're like, oh shit, they threw him off the building. But nope, surprise, he's getting picked up by the Falcon. Yeah.
So Mackey's story. Oh, you know what? Early in the movie, a note I wrote about his character was like, Mackey's story, Anthony Mackie, or Falcon's story is just to assist Captain America. He's like Captain America light to me, like super light, like the lightest of light. Like Captain America is at 100%. Anthony's at 15% of sweetness.
15% of what?
Sweetness. You know how you can like reduce the sweetness? Like give me 20, give me 50. I was gonna say 25, but it's even less than that. Because like, and if you had to rank like who you think about in your head in this movie of all the characters, if you had to rank like all the people that you would want to play, I don't see Anthony. For me, Anthony's like towards the bottom of the list.
Yeah, because he's underpowered, right? And some people say Captain America is like overpowered because he can do all this shit. Where it's like how, like in the was it this movie or the first one, where he's like holding on to a helicopter from taking off while holding onto like the helicopter pad, and he's like holding the shit, and people are like, what? How's Captain America able to do that? But Falcon, he's definitely underpowered, and which makes it even more peculiar because at the end of all this, all the movies. And in the new show, he's supposed to kind of take up the Captain America mantle. Like Captain America retires, and Anthony Mackie's character, oh, I was waiting for that. Yes.
Oh my, what?
I was waiting for that. He takes over for Captain America, and they take it from the comic books. In the comic books, Captain America gets assassinated, and the Falcon becomes becomes new Captain America, right? And yeah, and
unbelievable. It's not believable.
And that's the thing is in the movie, they never really quite set the Falcon's character up to be able to do what Captain America does. And granted, he can be his own character, but it's because Bucky has basically gone through the same shit that Captain America did. You would think almost that Bucky would be better suited because Bucky can like deal with all like he's just super tough and strong and all that shit and fights whatever. But they could have still given Sam, the Falcon, they could have given him better those fight scenes that make it clear that he is like he can hold his own, right? He's a badass, he can fight, he can shoot, he hits the target every time, he's a badass. But it doesn't feel like they quite set him up for that. So at the end of all this, the show hasn't come out yet, but we'll see. But it almost feels unearned when they give that mantle to him because it doesn't seem like he's gonna be able to keep up with anything. I'm genuinely worried the brother's gonna get shot unless he's got that shield.
Listen, he is not interesting. The way that they wrote him in this, to me, I'll say it, is uninteresting. All he has. So I was like, oh, these wings, like, do they shoot? Do they do this? And I watched and I was like, he's literally just flying. He's just flying. A falcon? He's just flying. That's it. His wings got damaged and he literally goes on the ground. He's like, oh man, I ain't got it no more. My wings.
I'm grounded.
I'm grounded, bruh. So what you gonna do, Anthony?
Just flying. He's just flying.
That's all I thought. I was like, oh, he's gonna get like something else. And I was like, no, he's just flying.
Yeah. And he's got small guns. The wing shooting.
He's not even that great at guns. He's regular good at guns. He's army good at guns.
But you know who else they did give a really badass fight scene to make you think, oh shit, she can hold her own? Was Black Widow.
Black Widow killed it. They gave Scarlet all the shine.
Yeah, she was fucking tearing it up. I was like, and every time I watch that scene, I'm like, damn, she damn near took out Winter Soldier on her own.
Scarlet got the shine. Captain America got the shine. And then Anthony just flying. And shooting people regular and fighting just enough to stop. He literally was like a civilian. And even the side characters, the white women, not Scarlet, but like the white girl that was his neighbor, the white girl that was like helping them at the end, like those white girls had more shine and more scenes and like badassness, like strongness than Anthony did. Like all I was reminded over and over again was how weak Anthony's character is. Like he was like a civilian.
Underpowered. He's a step above civilian, I guess, because I don't know how a civilian's gonna know how to fly that shit, but he's close. He's definitely underpowered. And that's what kind of to me made it, and that's another reason I wanted you to see this, is because for me, it's like they could have, I thought they built out his background as like a soldier with PTSD and all that really well, right? Like so he can relate to Captain America on that level. He's trying to do training and just be like, be a good soldier. And I see that they were trying to really give him like the same ideals as Captain America.
Oh my
right?
God. And that only made it worse.
So especially, and it's great because they could have gone way deeper than that with a black man in America and being a soldier in America. Of course, this isn't the Falcon story. It's a Captain America story, but there was definitely room where they could have gone even deeper in that. But I'm sure they tell you they didn't have enough time for all that in this 2-hour movie, but they kept his ideals, but they just made him under fucking powered. Like he wasn't, you're like, how's he going to keep up and not get his arm broken or shot?
Yeah. I actually don't think they really gave him ideals. I think they just made him like literally everything he said was like what he said.
Yeah.
He used what he said over it.
Yeah. So he's so, and that was one of the reasons I wanted you to see it too, is to see what you thought about basically, because in the next movie, Civil War, it comes up again where it's him and Winter Soldier and him and like all these people. He's basically fighting for Cap's attention and approval, and Winter Soldier's the other one for fighting for Cap's attention and approval. So it's like these two dudes, it's a 3-way bromance, and it seems like his character is always trying to be Cap's best friend, even though Cap like is always going after the belle of the ball, which is the fucking Bucky.
It's weak. They make him really weak. Like I thought it was very weak for him to always be like, and he would like low key like talk himself down. He's like like when we discover Samuel's alive, which I don't know why. I feel kind of dumb, but I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, Samuel's alive. He's living. And it's like, Donna, you didn't have any like inkling that maybe, and I guess I did, but I was still excited to see him. But it was like, first of all, I don't appreciate them humbling Samuel like they did. Like, and I obviously have a continual problem with Captain America because it's like this, he feels so self-righteous to me. Like everything he decides is right. He's always doing the right thing and making the right decisions, and his way is the right way. Like there's no, and that's why I asked the question. I was like, what is this guy's political? Like, if you had to guess his political, he gives me very white man no matter what. He gives me super white man. Like he reminds me, like I have a neighbor and he's always the white guy who's like, I don't really, he looks like he would say, I don't see color. He gives me, I don't see color. I only see people. That's what he gives me. And then you have Anthony, who is just like so weak. And then he's like, he goes, the line he said, I wrote it down. He goes, I normally agree with him. I'm just slower to the conclusion. Oh, so you a dumb nigga? I can't.
Slower to, oh yeah.
That's what he said. That's what he says. When Samuel is sitting there like this.
Don't look at me. I do what he does, just slower.
So, and to me, that was his way of joking and being self-deprecating, but it makes it like, okay, I can't keep up with him, but I do what he does. Like,
But
because
he's
he's
just like,
followed his lead.
he just, because he's not built up as a character or like really is ever presented as really strong. All he's presented as is like a fanboy.
I can't ask you to do this, Sam. You got out for a good reason.
Dude, Captain America needs my help. It's no better reason to get back in.
You know, in the Batman movie, which one was it? The Dark Knight. I think it was The Dark Knight. The opener where there's no, I think it might be Batman Begins, but it's the opener that I'm talking about Christopher Nolan. The opener where there's all these fake Batmans. Remember? Because they admire him so much that they're like, we're gonna go fight crime too. That's what it gives me.
Dark Knight vibe. Like wannabe hero.
Wannabe. It gives me wannabe vibes. And they didn't, because they didn't establish him, you know, they really don't actually establish his personality. They give him like a backstory. Yeah, but like you don't ever really feel his whole personality is admiring Captain America and getting sung. I want to say sung. Is that the word? Maybe it's not sung. Basically getting schooled by him and like all of his things that he can do and he can't do.
Oh, getting sunned by him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
how do you spell that?
SONNED, I think, but that's a very hip hop term. Like it ain't gonna be.
I'm trying to be hip hop, Steven.
I'm trying to be hip hop. It ain't gonna be in the dictionary.
Yeah, and I didn't appreciate them in the cave and how he treated Samuel L. Jackson.
Very much fanboy vibes, and he does. Captain America's character is very self-righteous in this. I'll give it to you though. Because his character's primary focus is going with his gut and what he feels is right, I don't necessarily think that he would have been, and maybe it's just because the actor is very ardent against Trump. Like
Chris Evans is not Captain America. Chris Evans is a sexy man. He is a zaddy. Okay. Chris Evans doesn't give me colorblind. Chris Evans gives me black girl. I see you and I like what I see. I like chocolate. That's what Chris Evans gives me. Captain America? It made me, you know what made me mad? It made me almost not like Chris Evans.
Oh, damn, like that.
Yeah.
I think, and again, this is my view of it is definitely colored from seeing all the movies, because in the third movie, that rift between him and the government goes even further. So, and he's like to the point where he's willing, it's funny, that rift between him and the government goes even further where he's willing to like rip off the whole Captain America like suit and name, but it's also to decrease the rift between him and his best friend Bucky. So, that's really I didn't
do they
think
attack
about
the Capitol on the 6th or not? You think they won't?
Wait, what?
Do you think he went and attacked the Capitol on the 6th?
Oh, no, I think
you're describing very specific people. You're saying there's a rift between him and the government.
That's a good metaphor. That's a good way to look at it. No, I meant, again, I'm talking specifically the movies, but I didn't think about it like that. If he was one of the ones hanging out with the QAnon shaman, sitting up there,
he gives me
talking about how
self-righteous white man.
He's a very self-righteous white man with the entire country's name on his chest. But I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I think because his character seems so willing to do what he thinks is right and not go with what he's told, it gives me pause to say that he would be there on the 6th, because and again, I'm coming from, it's hard for me to dislike this movie.
I love that. Like, we're like, was he there or was he not there?
Was he there? Was he there, or was he like on Twitter talking about how insane this is?
I don't think he uses Twitter.
No, definitely not.
Like, this was gonna say, so I had a neighbor who is the kind of guy that's like he just pretends like he doesn't vote for anything, but it's like on the low, like I know he votes for like certain people and he does certain things, but he tries to act like he's not one of those white guys. Like he's different. He's like he just wants people to be people and da 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 da. And he's very like, but he's also, I think what bothers me about his Captain America self-righteousness is that there seems like there is no room for anyone else's input. Like once he decides what he thinks is right, that's what's right.
It's the same thing as Superman, really, who also is like the American icon. There's a level of self-righteousness where they think that they're powerful enough to do things on their own, that they don't need other people's input, the other heroes' input, until they're proven, until it's shown that they need it. So it gives their character a level of stubbornness, but then it also puts the onus of responsibility on the other characters around them to bring them down to earth and show them like, this is what we're going to have to do because you got to pull your head out of your ass.
Does that moment ever happen for him? Because it didn't happen in this movie.
The thing is, the Civil War, it just grows even bigger, and it doesn't, like Civil War, it does. I'm trying to think when he gets humbled. I guess Avengers is in Infinity War. Maybe that's when he gets humbled. Because Civil War, it just grows. He becomes a fugitive, and he's just more like anti everything America, like everything like I guess the government stands for, whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to think of, because Civil War, there's a huge fight between him and Iron Man, but he's still not humbled like where you'd think he's like, okay, maybe I should rethink this.
Maybe I should take someone else's opinion in.
I have to go back and rewatch that now. But he doesn't get humbled the same way that Nick Fury gets humbled.
Nick Fury, let me tell you, Nick Fury got humbled. Anthony's whole existence was humbling. all his power was he could fly using that thing, and everything else he did mediocre. Like I was like this, there's this movie called I forgot what it's called, but I think it's about a high school where people with superpowers go to. It was a movie created in like the 2000s, and I love it. It was created like 10 years ago, I believe. And the twins, Khadijah and the Kardashian, the two black girls who hang out with the Kardashians, who are also in ATL. Whatever, the two black girls, people know, you can look them up. But it's a movie where the high schoolers have superpowers, right? And they have superhero and they have sidekick classes, right? And they look at your power and they decide where you go, right? So he was giving me, so for instance, people in the sidekick was like this girl who was like, I can turn into a gerbil and glow in the dark. Or this other guy was like, I can just become a puddle. And these people were like, oh, sidekick. But then they were like, superheroes was like, I have super strength, superhero. Yeah. And then someone else was like, we could duplicate ourselves, superhero. Falcon was giving me real strong sidekick.
Oh, nothing but sidekick vibes the entire time. And that's where I'm like, how is he ever going to be able to hold up like the mantle of being like the new Captain America? Because I'm not gonna lie, I get the way he currently exists in the Marvel universe. I get worried that he gonna get killed by just like the easiest thing. Like again, that's when Black Panther came out. I'm like, oh, he can hold his own. He's gonna be able to do fucking everything he needs to do.
Yeah, Black Panther. Now after seeing this, like Black Panther, I like, for someone, if I was like a geek about this, like Black Panther was just so significant because it's the first time that you saw Black characters that were strong from beginning to end. Like to me in this movie, all the Black characters in the end were kind of weak, like Samuel, like he gets shot up and all of this, and it's kind of weak. Like the only weakness, like even in Robert Redford, right, his character, the only time you see him weak is when he dies.
Yeah, but I'll disagree, because I'll say Samuel Jackson's character maintains his strength, but he ends up getting humbled. So when he comes back, you're like, oh, like Pac tried to get me, but your punks didn't finish. Now you about to feel the wrath of a menace, right? From Hit 'Em Up, like it's that Tupac fucking.
Oh my God, I don't know this. I'm not really hip hop. I know I said I wanted to be, but I'm really not.
it's that Tupac thing, right? Like even Tupac survived getting shot once. It was just that fucking that shooting in Vegas that took him out. So for me, with Nick Fury's
Yeah.
character, I always see his character in this movie as like that. Like he's this strong badass. Getting shot humbles him and lets him know like that there's forces equal or greater than who he thinks he is. So when he comes back at the end, he comes back with a plan of action and ready to fucking really like tear shit up and like fuck up Robert Redford and all that. Anthony Mackie's character, though, I feel like he's psychic vibes the entire time. Like he's like, I'm psychic. I do what this guy does. I do what he does, but slower. Blah blah blah. Like I said, I just get worried for homeboy because without Captain America, I guess now he's got Bucky to keep him safe. But I'm like, yo, man, is he gonna be able to keep himself safe during the new show? But I will say, I watched the trailer and they did have him doing some badass stuff, so we'll see. But they didn't have that in this
Well, I
movie.
hope he like worked out and got up his fighting and gun skills and fixed those wings.
They definitely, I assume they're gonna give him a wing upgrade because they do that like for every movie. They upgrade the suits and shit.
Yeah, no, it was weak. It was weak. The way that Captain America yells at Samuel though is my problem. And then Captain America had the one brother, the only other brother in the film, co-sign him for yelling at Samuel.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, he's like, "We did what you want to do. Now look," or whatever he tells him.
Yeah.
Look where we're at.
See, I don't. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
to me, it was just. But I get why Black Panther. It's like every black character is like strong in it, right? And strong, and also it recognizes the fact that black characters are treated so weakly in the other movies, that the characters that are treated weakly in this movie are the white folks. Like literally, you talk and we're gonna bark.
Well, Your Highness, the new king is a U.S. The new king.
And tell you to shut up, because who cares what you have to say? Because you can't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Or the guy with like the one white dude who thought he was tricking Killmonger. Is that how you say his name? Michael B. Jordan. Michael Jordan. He gets shot up. Like they're the weakest characters in it. And it's like I felt like it was significant for them to like show them that like, hey, here it's not like what you think it is. Like in this world, we're strong too. And we're more than strong.
Yeah. We don't need to hide behind you.
We don't need you. We can handle it. And I thought, I was like, dang, I know people feel empowered when they watch Black Panther now. I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm still not there, but like, I get it. Like if you're a comic book head, like to see that compared to, you watching this and the white boys yelling at Samuel.
Maybe we can salvage what's left.
We're not salvaging anything.
Samuel?
He's yelling at
Samuel is a black treasure.
He is. That's why every movie he's in, he's like, he can't go out like a punk. So he's a national treasure, a national black treasure.
Yo, it just made me, I really didn't enjoy Captain America as like a human being. I just didn't. I just didn't enjoy him. Scarlett's great. They did give her a very dark tan, but I'm gonna let that pass.
They did. I was like, all right.
It's like, okay, Scarlett, I see you with your little black girl tan, but okay. We gonna let her. She had a weird moment in the very beginning with Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, he's like, how you doing?
Yeah, like I was like, oh, this is creepy.
Well, it's interesting because her character, they've gotten a lot of flack for this. Her character throughout all the movies is kind of like she might be the sexual lead, like the girlfriend lead to like so many of the characters, because there's this weird sexual tension they give her with each of the characters, but she never actually seen any of like this one. Anthony Mackie was like flirting, like, hey, how you doing? Like, and she's like, oh, hey, which is funny, but there's clearly this role of tension between her and Cap where she's like, oh, I'm his friend, I'm trying to hook him up with somebody, but at the end they share that look like they're gonna kiss, but she kissed him on the cheek instead. But then like in one of the other movies, it's her and the Hulk, like they give that same tension to. And then like, yeah, it's weird. And then one of the other movies, it's her and Hawkeye, like her partner. They get like it's weird. It's like they never are sure where to put her and her characters like independence apart from these guys until we'll see her individual movie. It still keeps getting pushed back, but it's just really
Understandable.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like they did a good job with her in this movie, showing that she can hold her own. She's just her age. She's got agency. She's just as skilled in her own way. But you know, she doesn't have psychic vibes. She vibes in this. She's got like partner vibes, right?
You know what you just said that's really like a good point is she has agency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anthony has no agency.
Bingo. Like he literally just goes with whatever Cap does. But her character has agency.
Yeah.
And even to the point where at the end they're like, Robert Redford's character is like, are you willing to you're willing to do this? You push that button, all your secrets gonna be on the internet, the whole world's gonna know your background, who you've been killing, like the whole world's gonna know about you. And she's like, whatever, I'm fine with that. Like she chooses to take certain actions that are gonna impact her future, right? Anthony Mackie's character.
A big decision. And you know what I also noticed? You know how she's like wearing that mask? When she's like, first of all, I thought it was the old lady. But listen, I was like, yo, this old lady fighting, she better than Anthony too? Like, I was like, she's whooping him. They gave Anthony nothing. And then and then as I was watching, I was like, I think this is probably Scarlet. And it was. But y'all couldn't give Anthony no mask. Y'all couldn't let Anthony do nothing cool.
I just wanted to see him really kick ass. Like there's some scenes in Civil War where he fights more, but it's his character, even in the comic books, is always one to me that I just never really gravitated to, because I was like, what does he do? He flies with bird wings and he talks to birds, like, and shoots guns. I was like,
I mean, listen, think about the birds. They could have, I think, okay, so now here's some of the thoughts. What do you think they could have done with Anthony's character to give him more life throughout this? Because for you feel like Samuel is like, I think Samuel was cool. I didn't like Samuel talking. I remember gonna be like, shut up. And this black dude gonna tell you to shut up too. That's exactly what they did to us on our Facebook. That white boy quoted a black man just to promote his racism. You see what I'm saying? It's messed up. That I would take that. For me, that was my biggest gripe with the Samuel thing. But when it comes to Anthony Mackie's character, what do you think they should have done differently to have brought him in as a character that we actually admire? Like, if I was a kid, I'm like, I don't want to be that bird, that pigeon.
I think for his character, they should have, and they expanded on his soldier PTSD thing, but I think they could have gone deeper into that with how it still gives him trauma, like hearing certain explosions and stuff like that. And I think they could have combined that with another scene for him where he's like getting treated like just another, he's a black guy that's fought for his country, but he's still getting treated like just another Negro when he's shopping at the bodega, or when he's like, they're following him around, like at the store, or he's like, you know, that soul scene of Samuel Jackson, the cops, like he gets pulled over and they search him, all the shit, like, you know, like shown the rest of his life that, you know, exists when he's not in military fatigues. He's just walking around trying to buy fucking groceries or trying to pump his gas, and he still gets like, you know, flat because he's just another black man in America. I think you show one of those two scenes, a couple of those scenes, and combine that with his PTSD and how he's still, because we all know so many black soldiers fought for this country during the Civil War, World War I, World War II, came back to the country and were still treated like second class citizens, right? So, and we know it's still something that happens today. And I think if you emphasize some of that, you'd give his character much more of depth and show, like, you know, just like Samuel Jackson's grandfather, like this is still a black man in America. But then you also give the man like more badass fight skills, like make him able to do hand-to-hand combat, just like fucking Bucky or Frank Grillo's character, crossbones or whatever. Like, just give him, make him a little more. He's obviously not going to be as powered as Black Panther, but still make him somebody like a kid on Halloween is going to want to dress up as, like a little black boy on Halloween, because there's
That's such a that right there is the point. You want someone to like, he's so out of it. The kid wouldn't even choose him.
no, and I've seen countless Black Panther Halloween costumes, right? And I love to see it, but I don't think I've seen a single Falcon costume, and I've seen a lot of Captain America costumes.
He's
it's
like
one of those
that guy, which is the one in Kiss that no one wants to be, the one with the cat, that guy.
Paul Stanley, maybe, because Gene Simmons is the one with the tongue that everybody wants to be.
Oh yeah, everyone likes him, the other guy, and then there's the one with the cat that nobody wants to be, the cat guy.
The cat guy. That's fucking hilarious. That's a very funny metaphor there. Either was it Peter Chris? Maybe that was Peter Chris. But yeah, they nobody wants to be the cat guy. You want to be the one with the bat wings on the eyes or a star on your face.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's what they should do. What do you think they should have done?
I completely agree with you. I think that they needed to give him a bird. Like, I know you said it's like kind of lame he talks to birds, but like that could be really cool visually. If there's some like if he's the type of guy that can speak to like hawks or eagles and things like that. Like that would have been interesting, like to actually give him like that power. Like give him something otherworldly, right? Like if you're gonna have him like a Batman, what makes Batman so cool is the fact Batman has he is the top of the line. He's maxed out what he can do in creating his own costume, right? What's cool about Scarlet, right? She's another person who doesn't have a power, but she has maxed out her skill set. So so his skill set isn't even maxed out. It's like you guys have him with the wings, but the wings easily break. There was no like elevation in his skill set that made him really special, that made you really want to be him. I also think I loved what you said about like his experience as a Black soldier and like what that means for a Black man. Because they really just kind of wrote him, they didn't really give him Blackness when it came to like how he sees government, how he sees his position as a soldier, And I think it would have been nice for them to have him and Captain America disagree about something. And because Captain America he doesn't see everyone's point of view. So like if just simple conversation, like him and Captain America being like, we're all soldiers, we're all the same, and we come and we fight hard. And he's like, but some of us aren't treated the same afterwards.
Yeah, perfect. That would have been perfect.
Just like something to show that he's not just gonna be his boy.
Yeah.
Listen, I love Anthony Mackie. I think he's so fine, and it's not his fault that they wrote him like that. And me and my grandma were watching this, right? Let me say something. Me and my grandma were watching this, and I was like, he just flies. And she's like, you wouldn't fly for $1 million? I said, I'd probably do more than just fly for $1 million. So I say that all to say that, like, as a Black actor, like, we don't get these opportunities, and that is a big opportunity. So I'm not crapping on him. I'm just bringing attention to the fact that the people who were put in charge of taking care of this character and doing this, there was a lot that they just ignored. They ignored him as a character.
Yeah, his character was there to help build the protagonist up, which is Captain America. And it's funny you mention that, because that same article I was reading, he talked about how he was an actor that's kind of just played by the rules his whole career, and he's finally starting to get his dues, starting to get these roles. And of course, he was super excited about what it meant as a Black man playing his character, and super excited to be able to be like on this roster of superheroes and stuff, which is, we all know, like blockbuster movie money. So he talked about that, and how now that he's like going to get top billing, it's going to be really, he feels like he's starting to finally come into his own and all that. And it's not, I love Anthony Mackie as an actor. He seems like and I've got a friend that's worked with him on the set for some of these movies, and she said he's a great guy. He seems like he's really nice. Huh?
I was joking. I was like, is he single?
Is he single? I don't know. I think she would like to know too. But He is and he seems like a cool dude. And he's picked some great roles.
Yeah.
And but doing this role, he was saying in the interview, was giving him the opportunity to produce Black stories of his own now with his own production company. And and one of the first one I think was that banker show he did for Apple TV Plus that didn't end up getting didn't get the most traction because it came out right before the pandemic, and then I guess there was some drama with the family. I'm not sure what, but
Are you talking about the movie where it's the two bankers who had to get a white man to like
yeah.
Samuel's in that, I believe.
Is he? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I know it's on Apple TV Plus. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. But it ended up being some stuff with the family that of the people I guess they play. Something came out. I don't know if it's a Me Too thing or what. Something came out later, like right after it was going to air. So there, but he's still, he's learning from his experience and really going forward with that. So I'm really happy for him. I just think his character, I agree. His character in this movie, they didn't give his own agency, and they didn't give him equal billing and it's a Captain America movie. But you see the third movie, it's basically another Avengers movie. Everybody's in that movie. It's Captain America, but it's Civil War has basically, it's been called like Avengers Light. Like everybody gets equal billing in that movie. This one though, I will say the bridge scene, Sam seems to be holding his own pretty good, like where he's fighting those guys on the bridge and then gets the gun. He's like, I got this area covered, take over. But that looks more like, his soldier training. Like I wanted to see that I wanted to see him trained, to see that he was trained as not just a soldier, but part of that special ops team too, where he, obviously had the whole.
Oh my gosh, yes. Is he special ops?
His Falcon suit, his wingsuit, where he said he was a paratrooper or whatever. That's like his special ops team. But I would have liked to see, and I guess all the flipping, he was doing some crazy flipping and shooting and because I rewound a couple of scenes where he was flying and then tucking his self in and flipping, then coming back out. I was like, okay, so
a little gymnast.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
little circus act.
But I wanted to see that he had more hand.
I'm not impressed.
You are not impressed. A little circus.
Dang, there was no Black woman in this movie.
No, and I was trying to think if in S.H.I.E.L.D., like in the headquarters where they're like, everybody, Captain America needs us, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think I saw any Black woman in that.
But I know they're in the building. They could be standing right next to you.
I mean, even if there was a Black woman in the group shots, that's just lazy diversity. Lazy diversity. You just throw some Black people in as extras and say, look, they here. They don't speak, but they here. So.
Yeah, light-skinned snitch. He's here.
Light-skinned snitch. I couldn't believe it. I said, oh, the only light-skinned man, he a snitch. Okay, so is there any thoughts, any scenes, any moments that you were like, we didn't talk about this, I want to hit on this, anything like that?
No, there's I think we've covered everything I wanted to go through. I will say that going forward, it looks like they're going to make him stronger. Or at least they're going to dip into his background apparently more, because Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, which is a white guy, he was saying that they do want to really start exploring what it means for somebody to step into Captain America's shoes, especially not just anybody, but like a Black man in the present day. So we'll see. We'll see if they Marvel pays attention when people call for diversity. It's just that they take their own time with it. So we'll see. Because this Black Panther movie, I was like, why didn't Black Panther come out before Ant-Man? They made 2 Ant-Man before Black Panther came out.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck? So and I like Paul Rudd, and I like the Ant-Man movies were fun, but I was just like, yeah, Marvel takes their time. They'll do the diversity, but they didn't take the time with it. And so going forward, we'll see if they do his character right. See Black Panther.
Right. I get it now, because people were so excited about Black Panther, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, but like, you guys, this is a lot. Like, if someone ever does for me, right? For me, someone who doesn't like follow that universe, if someone does the Wakanda at me, I'm gonna feel uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel uncomfortable because I'm gonna be like, why are you doing that? Like, you don't know me. I'm not that type of black person. I'm joking.
The Wakanda Forever. You finally get a chance to see black people be as strong as we know we can be. And obviously that's why people were turning out like in their Wakanda best during the premiere, the theaters and everything. So, it gives us, that definitely is a superhero movie that'll give you not only a black character of agency, but with also just like badass skill set. Or even if you're not watching that, watch Blade.
Oh
Blade.
my gosh, yes. Yo, any movie
Blade.
with Wesley Snipes as like Renaissance Man. Is it Renaissance Man, the one with him and Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, Demolition Man.
Demolition Man.
No, Demolition. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Yeah, he's a villain, but he's the best fucking villain ever in that movie.
Great. And that's the thing is also Anthony's character just needed more personality. Like he had no personality in this.
He was just very chill in this, I think. I would have liked to see a more dynamic person out on his side, but it seemed that he was just like trying to do what was right and just stick by his guy. They could have given more range for sure.
Yeah. So real quick, I forgot a token.
Who?
Derek Luke in that picture in the museum.
So that's the first movie. Remember when I was telling you the first movie, there's a black guy, but he's got even less screen time than Anthony Mackie's character.
No, they didn't do Derek Luke like that.
So, he's in the first movie. Yeah.
They should be ashamed of themselves, first of all. I don't appreciate it. Me and my homegirls are upset. We don't like it. Do better. Hashtag y'all better do right on this series.
Hashtag y'all better do them right.
All right. Other than that, this was another week of Token. Please check us out on all of our platforms. We're on Instagram. We're on the YouTuber. We're on where podcasts are found. We're all around.
Facebooks, the iTunes, the
internets, all of it. But yeah, and we would love to hear, if wherever you're watching this, you're probably able to like review, you're probably able to rate, to share, to subscribe. Please do that. If you have any ideas for films for us to check out in the future, we'd love to hear that. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this film and what you thought about Anthony Mackie, what you thought about Falcon, or what you thought about Fury's character, and what you think would be the way to like take these characters to the next level, and what you're expecting on this new series. Yeah. Bye. Going to watch the Meghan Markle interview. No, Steven, show him what you just did. Look what Steven did to me. I don't appreciate it. Do it again.
Under forever.
No, that was, see, I don't want to use the word aggressive because that's what white folks use.
Feeling attacked right now.
I'm feeling really attacked. But you know what? It's also uncomfortable for me to do the peace sign. Like that feels sometimes a little weird.
Yeah, I guess I can see.
Any symbol with my hands, even the middle finger, I feel weird about it.
We might have to process this on a future episode. We'll put a pin in that.
Bye, y'all.
Later.